Am I in the wrong for making a joke about my brother's affair at his wedding? When I was in elementary school, I was the type of kid who got disrupts class often on their report card, so I never focused much on school. My district had this system where they would pair high schoolers with younger kids to help them with school etc, and my mom made me do that after I kept getting in trouble. So my tutor was a freshman, a B, so she would come to our house after school to help me with my homework or something. I barely remember. My brother John was the same age as a B, so they would talk to each other and ended up dating. She stopped tutoring me officially after like a month, but since she was at our house a lot I also talked to a B a lot, and we were close as well. Fast forward 10 years, a B and John got married and had a kid together. 5 years later John tells me that he's getting a divorce because he's met someone new. It sucked because I liked John and a B together a lot, but whatever. Then he tells me he had an affair with his new girlfriend. Also sucks, and I told him he shouldn't have hurt a B like that, but whatever. I also asked a B how she was doing, and she wasn't doing well, but she told me she didn't want her to be the reason I have a bad relationship with my brother. However, 2 months before the wedding, a B calls me and tells me that my brother's girlfriend has been harassing her non-stop. She showed me the texts and his girlfriend was saying some pretty disturbing things about how she's so much better than a B, taunting a B for having to share custody of her kid now, etc. Just making fun of her and bullying her. I told my brother about this, and he said he would ask his girlfriend about it. A month later I asked him if he ever brought it up, and he said he did, but saw nothing wrong with the texts, which pissed me off. I confirmed that he saw the same texts I saw. A B apologized for involving me in the whole thing in the first place and encouraged me to still go to the wedding, where my brother asked me to make a speech. The speech went well until I made a joke. The gist of the joke was me turning to his new wife and telling her that if she's learned anything from this, she should know that my brother will never let his wife stop him from finding the love of his life. This got my brother and his wife really mad, and they kicked me out shortly after, and my brother has been calling/texting me non-stop yelling at me. Too long didn't read, made a joke about brother's affair. Am I in the wrong? Not the asshole. My understanding is justified asshole is not the asshole, and that's the most justified asshole behavior I've seen. Everyone sucks here. Man, your brother and his GF/wife are assholes, but a joke like that at a wedding is not cool. The best way to have shown you were pissed at him would be to not go to the wedding or decline to give a speech. Using the speech that he requested you give to publicly shame him at his wedding is an asshole move. I don't really think this is real, but I mean, your brother and his new wife suck, but I'm not sure what you meant to get out of this. A B wanted you to let it go. The guests now have to sit through this awkward celebration, and your brother will probably never speak to you again. Maybe that's what you wanted? I know this sub loves treating real life like a sitcom, but it isn't, and that was a dumb thing to do. You could just not attend it. You're the asshole. Am I in the wrong for saying I don't care when told why someone bullied my daughter? My daughter, 11, has had a rough year. She started middle school, and it was not an easy transition for her. What made it worse is a bully she's faced. We'll call her Olive. Olive has made fun of my daughter nearly every day. Over her hair, the way she talks, certain interests, her weight, etc. I have reported it, as have my daughter, but Olive is smart and knew to do it when no adults were present or could hear. This typically happened at lunch. Switching schools is unfortunately not an option right now, but we will be moving this summer due to unrelated reasons, so we hope that'll help. Recently, however, Olive started getting bolder. She put gum in my daughter's hair during class. The teacher saw and sent her to the office, my daughter to the nurse. Luckily they got the gum out without cutting it. The school finally took it seriously, and Olive got in trouble. I also insisted on a meeting so this could get resolved. They finally listened all this time later. In the meeting, I laid it all out. How awful Olive has been, the nasty things she has said, my daughter crying often, the school's absolute negligence. Olive's mother was profusely apologetic, but then added she's had a tough year. Her father died, and I feel like she's acting out. I said frankly, I don't care. Your daughter has harassed mine for months now, and has had zero consequences. Get your shit together so mine isn't traumatized." The mom began to cry. The principal said Olive and my daughter would receive counseling separately, on top of Olive receiving a day of in-school suspension. Due to where we are in the school year, classes can't be switched, but they only have 2 classes together, and both teachers have agreed to switch seats, so they are on opposite sides of the room. My daughter and myself are pleased with the situation. I was telling a friend about the situation and she called me heartless for what I said to Olive's mom. I pointed out that Olive didn't care what my daughter has been through. She also lost a parent a few years ago, or the pain she was going through. My daughter didn't bully anyone. Am I in the wrong? You're the asshole. It doesn't sound like she was trying to justify Olive's behavior, just to have you understand that her kid's going through some shit, and maybe hold some kindness in your heart, while the kid is held responsible for her actions. And guess what? Knowing what is prompting a behavior can be the first step to resolving the behavior. She was trying to work with you, and you went off. I mean, yeah, telling a widow right after her husband and father of her child that you don't care he died, or that that's the reason the child is acting out is an asshole move. Of course that doesn't change the bullying being awful, but that was cruel to say to her. Especially considering it sounds like the school, not the other mom, dropped the ball. Sounds like the other mom may not have even known this was happening or the extent it was happening due to the school's inaction. You're the asshole. Edit to add. A kid's parent dying is a pretty damn good excuse for acting out at school. Crazy OP would say something so cruel, while at the same time demand consequences for mean words to her child. Honestly, this will probably be against the grain, but in going to go everyone sucks here. The school for not informing Olive's mom about what was going on, Olive's mom for not realizing how bad her daughter was struggling, and very softly you for saying what you did. The only reason I say that is because the way it sounds to me is that the school never informed Olive's mom about her behavior and the mom might be struggling with the loss of the father too and simply wasn't as aware as she should have been. I'm mainly leaning that way because she profusely apologized. I agree. The hardest thing in the world is to have empathy for those who hurt us, but it sounds like Op could have had just a little more empathy for Olive. It doesn't excuse her behavior, it doesn't absolve her of her wrongdoings, but it does explain her more, and it would have been kind of Op to have more grace. The child lost her father, the whole family sounds like they have gone through the unimaginable, and to just dismiss that isn't fair. Everyone sucks here. Not the asshole. This is information that may explain Olive's behavior, but it doesn't excuse it, and there should still be consequences for it. Not the asshole. Her dad's death, while horrible, is not your daughter's problem. She acted out. Consequences, therapy, and get their shit together. It sounds heartless, but the kids need it, and OPs needs to be safe. Am I in the wrong for wanting my daughter to dress more grown up? I'm very proud of my daughter, 23 female. She is a smart and beautiful young lady who has worked hard her entire academic life to make me proud. She is now in another province doing her masters, and I'm very proud of her. But I'm scared of how she dresses. She likes to dress like a goth and her clothes are all black, and she wears dark makeup, and she wears chokers on her neck. I told her to stop dressing like that, but she is so stubborn. I have a lot of money to buy her nice clothes, but she still will only wear black. She will even pretend to dress nice around me, but I sometimes catch her around her friends dressed like that, or I will find chokers hidden in her room and I confiscate from her whenever I find them. But now she is in a new province and I can't control what she wears anymore, and I'm afraid she is lying to me about what she wears. She tells me she will only dress like this to hang out with her friends, and that she dresses professionally for work and school. But that's not enough. Clothes are a reflection of who you are, and her clothes give the reflection that she is a bad person. And I don't want her to be associated with bad people, and I'm afraid of her ability to find a nice man if she keeps dressing like this. Every time I bring it up to her she gets mad at me and insists that it is who she is, and she wants people to like her for who she is. But I just think that as a grown woman with a career in the future she should dress more professionally. Am I in the wrong? You're the asshole. Your daughter can choose to dress in whatever color she wants. She may even decide to take a step into corporate goth. for work and wearing all black, as long as it's not dirty or unprofessional looking. This depends on the job field, but I'm meaning inappropriately located holes or V-low cut tops or V-short skirts. I'm older than her, plus 10 years, and I haven't fully stepped away from my goth look. I have slid into steam goth instead. My everyday clothes are generally all black, and I live in my DMs. I make a lot of my clothes and they generally have a rockabilly/50s goth vibe, unless I'm doing a proper steamed look, and I did wear these to work for my local council and the only comments I got was, "Where did you buy it?" I'm not going to change who I'm to find a man/woman/partner, as if I change who I'm they have no chance of actually choosing me because of the real me. Remember, be nice to your children. They'll choose your nursing home. You're the asshole. She's worked her whole life to make you proud? Give me a fucking break. If she's succeeding in life and academics, why would anyone give a shit what she wears? You sound like a dinosaur. Bye. You're the asshole. Alternative forms of dress are not indicative of goodness or evilness. She's an adult and has a right to full autonomy over her body, up to and including what she wears and when. Stop being a helicopter parent and stop using someone's attire as a means of judging their character. Please subscribe and help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers. Thank you and good night.